Are we on the air here at campusnation.com? Yes, we are, we're told. Another night of beautiful weather, perfect football conditions here at campusnation.com. The YouTube channel of Campus Nation, the sister station 106.9 WZAA out of Jeffersonville. We're at a new locale this weekend for the tilt between the Beavercreek Battling Beavers, the home team, at Frank Zink Field, hosting the Golden Panthers of Pontiz out of Dayton, Ohio. Welcome to campusnation.com. The whole crew is here. I'm Tony Mancuso, your play-by-play guy. And to my right is, as usual, is the one and only Jeff Merklin, state high school champion quarterback, college quarterback, coach. Jeff, welcome to Frank Zink Field and the battle between Pontiz and Beavercreek.
Thanks, Tony. It's really nice to be here. Interesting, I've coached girls basketball for 10 years. I did not know that Beavercreek had named their stadium Frank Zink Field. He is probably the top, as far as wins go, I believe, girls basketball coach in the state of Ohio. I don't know how many years he was here. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Ed Zink. Who's Frank?
Frank was the head coach of Beavercreek when I went to high school here in 1971. Yeah, okay.
All right, I stand corrected. Is that his brother?
Get it on. Okay. No. Ed Zink is much younger. Ed is he went to school when I did.
Okay.
And the head coach here, back in the good days, in fact, we went 10-0 in 1969 in the WOL, the old Western Ohio League.
That's pretty good.
That's right. And in fact, I only think we lost, 6 games the entire 4 years that I was in high school here. So we had a great football team back then. Oh, by the way, I'm Rick Phillips. I graduated from Beavercreek in 1971. Just a youngster here.
Well, see, I was right weeks ago then when I said I was the youngest male in this booth, and that is still correct and been confirmed. Because I know Jeff was a state champion quarterback in 1976 or 7. Six or 7.
Six.
So that means I'm the youngest.
But I was never part of any state championship. We did win a Western Ohio League track championship I was a part of.
All right.
I ran track on this very track, except it didn't have the all-weather surface. It had the old cinders.
Right. This is a
beautiful
field.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Well, the playoffs didn't start until 1972, so it's a shame that you didn't get a chance to play just 2 or 3 years later.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
I could have been up here with 2 state champions.
That's
Instead,
right.
only one.
Well, Beavercreek has won many state championships, and I was telling my wife, Sydney, that they've particularly excelled in girls' sports.
Yes.
They've won several girls' high school basketball championships.
Yes.
And as you
Ed
said,
Zink.
Ed Zink, who the floor in the gym is named after and who still coaches today, is the winningest girls basketball coach in the state of Ohio. He's won 700, almost 800, games. And of course, we've had soccer championships. We've had cross-country championships. In fact, last year, I believe Beavercreek is the defending girls cross-country champion. I think the 1 and 2 positions were both Beavercreek girls, and most of the team was in the top, probably 10, 15 places. So there have been some outstanding sports here at Beavercreek. From football, they've had kind of a drought.
Yeah, looking at it
tell
in
us
my
about 'em,
research, I don't know, over the past 10, 12 years, their record has been consistently not good. And Coach Nick Black is the coach now, and I know he's, from what I researched this week, is trying his best. This is his 7th season here. But for whatever reason, well, let's face it, the Greater Western Ohio Conference is a tough place to try to build a program because there's some powerhouses here.
Right, and in fact, this was a huge league just last year. They cut the league in half, and the teams in the GWalk North formed a new league. So the teams that remained are teams like Springfield, and they're still in the playoffs, by the way. And you've got teams like Fairmont, which in my day was Fairmont East and West. Obviously, they consolidated over the years.
There were 2 Springfields fields too,
Right,
north
and south. Although it was actually Springfield North, it was part of the old Western Ohio League, and then they brought South in later, and then they consolidated, and Springfield was the only team that remained in the GWalk. But we've got, like I said, Kettering Fairmont, we've got Springfield, we've got Springboro, we've got Beavercreek, we've got Centerville, always a powerhouse
Centerville,
when it comes to football.
Kirk Street.
Right. So you've got some
AJ
great.
Hawk, Mike Nugent, all
Yes,
kinds
right.
of names.
That's right. Yeah.
From that
and they
school.
too have a beautiful facility as well at Centerville.
Well, Jeff, what do you know about Pontiz, the Golden Panthers tonight, coming in at 1-3? Tell us about their team.
Tony, Dayton Pontiz is part of the Dayton City League, and that league did not start until week 4. So their record tonight, coming into here to this game, is 1-3.
We have the anthem. Let's listen to the national anthem.
Thank you.
That's the alma mater. Look at the size of the band. It's all the way over there. Coming in. High school here. I went to junior high school back here.
Great job by the Beavercreek band. There must be 100 plus in that band. What a good-looking group. Jeff, finish up with Dayton Pontiz.
Okay, Tony, they're 1-3. They're coached by Darrell Wilson. Last week they lost in the first round of the Division III playoffs to Tippecanoe, and that was the first playoff appearance ever for Pontiz. They've only been playing football since 2010. On offense, look for the shotgun and some I formation. The players to watch, I think you'll see are number 1, the quarterback, senior Terrion Boykin, and number 2, running back, senior Shavante McGriff. On defense, you'll see primarily a 4 or a 5-man front. They have excellent ball pursuit. Players to watch on defense would be senior number 8, Lawrence Pointer, and senior number 4, Joe Eccles III. Beavercreek comes in tonight 0-7, and as we discussed earlier, they're part of the Greater Western Ohio Conference. They lost last week in the first round of the Division I playoffs to Dublin Kaufman, and it was Beavercreek's first ever playoff appearance. They're coached by Nick Black. It's his 7th season here at Beavercreek. Coming into tonight, he's 23-44, and he is doing his best to turn this program into a winner. Offense, Tony, look for some option, a little passing, but otherwise they try to keep their schemes pretty basic. They've used 5 quarterbacks this year. The quarterback who has seen the most action is senior number 3, Jack Barnett. He's the leading passer on the team. He's 47 for 111, 42.3% for 426 yards and a touchdown. Number 45 is junior Nick Etienne. He's the leading rusher. 32 carries.
Got an opening kickoff, Jeff, and guess what? Beavercreek looks like they have recovered the onside kick.
Wasn't paying attention.
What amazing. Now, what a start. Beavercreek, the kicker, we have him as number 71, Mitchell Rother, which may not be their actual kicker, but he was lined up for the kick and the traditional kick, and sure enough, kicked it, and the Beavercreek battling Beavers recover the onside kick. What a way to start, Jeff.
Well, 0-7, come out.
Yeah, why not?
Aggressive.
Let's have fun with this. Jack Barnett is the Beavercreek quarterback in shotgun formation on first down at the Pontiz 47-yard line as they start 1st and 10, recovering the onside kick. Good way to start here at Frank Zink Field on a gorgeous night for football. It don't get no better than this, as we've said many, many times. Where else would you rather be on a Friday night but watching high school football live on campusnation.com and the YouTube channel Campus Nation? There's a handoff to Addison Culpepper, number 2 for Beavercreek, who is stacked up. Not much there.
Well, they're going to show little shotgun. I would imagine they're probably opening up their offense tonight. Tony, I believe in addition to 5 quarterbacks this year, they've used, if I counted right, 15 running backs or 15 people who have carried the ball.
15? Are you serious?
If I added right, I don't know if they were all running backs, but
15 kids have gotten carries for this team?
15 kids have gotten touches.
My goodness. 2nd and 9 for Beavercreek, first possession of the game. There's a keeper as Barnett
Fumble.
is stacked up. Did he lose it, Jeff?
Nope. He lost it.
But got it back.
Got it back. That was a nice play by.
Recovered, looked like number 55, A.J. Wolf.
He's a good-looking lineman.
Now
6'1", 245-pound
yes,
senior.
And there's the clock stoppage as the referees meet at midfield. Wonder what this could be this early in the game. Got all kinds of sponsors tonight. Sam's Meats, Collette Farms, John Roberts Excavating, Shelley McCune Realtor, McCune Painting and Renovation LLC, Ettinger Farms, Brown Funeral Home, Kingdom Exteriors. What a crew sponsoring CampusNation.com and the YouTube channel of Campus Nation. We'll tell you a little bit more about those sponsors as we go, as the officials are huddling up and talking to the coaching staffs of both teams. I'm not sure what we got here.
No,
what do we got,
they can't
Jeff?
be talking about turning the ball over.
What do we got, Jeff?
I am absolutely clueless.
Right. We don't get much signals up here in the press box.
Not this year.
No, for some reason we're not getting them. But there is some stoppage to where the officials are explaining things to both coaching staffs. Barnett runs back out on the field on 2nd. Well, the chain says 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9, and it's 3rd and 9 on the scoreboard.
I wonder if there was a no play. Could be.
I don't think that's where the ball was recovered, so they must be do a do-over.
Do-over. That's something new. There's Barnett's pass incomplete.
Receiver
So let's
wouldn't
see
even
what
turn
we
it
got. The chain guy has it at 3rd down. The scoreboard has it at 4th down. We got to get that confusion figured out so the kids know what down they're working under.
Well, the umpire just signaled 3rd down.
So there must have been a no play do-over on 2nd down, right?
That's the only
The
explanation.
only explanation. So let's talk about 3rd and 9 now. So ignore the scoreboard according to the officials. It is 3rd and 9 for Beavercreek on their first possession. Barnett drops back to pass and throws one of those middle screens, and it's complete and caught by number 2. That's Addison Culpepper. Makes his way for a Beavercreek first down.
Nicely executed screen, 10 yards. Very well done.
So whether it was 3rd or 4th down, the key for Beavercreek is that it's now a first down. First drive of the game. Beavercreek versus Dayton Pontiz here at Frank Zink Field on a beautiful Friday night, October the 16th. Like our motto is, it don't get no better. Barnett with a pass out to the left is complete to number 6. That looks like Hunter Martin. Excuse me, number 8 is on the receiving end, Alan Hopkins. Short gain.
About 4, 2nd and 6. Good offensive coordinator down.
You can do a lot on 2nd and 6, can't you? The whole offense is available.
Still there.
Yeah, that's great. There's a handoff to number 2. Addison Culpepper looks like he stacked up just short of the first down, about the 27-yard line of Pontiz. Brings up another 3rd down. So Beavercreek converted on their last 3rd down opportunity. Here we go again, 3rd and 2. And in the shotgun.
I think you're going to maybe see Culpepper here again on 3rd and 2.
Barnett takes the
pass.
snap, and the pass is batted down. It looks like it was caught, but batted down by number 53, DeJuan Harris of Pontiz. What a great defensive play. That play looked open, Jeff, and Harris made an outstanding breakup.
I'm not sure that Barnett has seen a defensive end that can react and jump like that all
Fast.
year.
He got in there awful fast and knocked it down. So Beavercreek's going on 4th and 2. Big play here early in the game. Barnett with the snap and hands it to Culpepper, and it looks like he's short. I think we're going to have a change in possession, and the Beavercreek defense thinks so because they're running out. So Beavercreek fails to convert on 4th down. Change of possession for Pontiz. Tell us about Sam's Meats, Jeff.
Football fans, stop by Sam's Meats, located in Wilmington, Ohio at 1209 West Locust Street, and support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, and beef along with deli cheese and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping to save you both time and money. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6:30, and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Check out Sam's Meats.
All right, there's Carry-On Boykin, the quarterback for Pontiz, underneath center. Hands it to the fullback. I'll tell you, that's interesting because in all our weeks of doing high school football 2020, rarely do you see a team under center, and even rarely do you see a handoff to the fullback.
Other than Wilmington last week.
Right, other than when we were kids, maybe.
Well, and that one of the sophomores for Wilmington, what was his name? Snell?
Snell.
Had a nice game
Got
last
2
week.
touchdowns out of that formation. So 2nd and 9 for the Golden Panthers on their first possession. They're going from left to right wearing white with blue trim. The Beavercreek Battling Beavers in the traditional orange. There's Boykin back to pass, fires downfield, and that ball is going to be picked by number 1 of Beavercreek. That's Devin Garnes. There's a flag down. He is tackled after the interception. What are we going to have there, Jeff? Do we have interference, or is that play going to stand?
Well, it's interference on somebody. They had 3 of them throwing flags.
And they're huddling up.
Of interest,
and they are calling the pass interference on Beavercreek.
Yeah, to our listeners out there, I'm getting on ScoreStream, I'm getting a Wilmington St. Francis de Sales canceled football game.
Oh my goodness!
Now, I don't know whether it's COVID related. I don't know whether it's correct or not. But they actually have it listed as canceled.
Wow,
yeah.
That's a big playoff game in Central Ohio. We'll have to find out some details on that.
Yeah, I'm going to try to see what I can do.
It's amazing. So here we are. The interception is negated as the interference penalty takes away an early interception. So Boykin's up to the line for Pontiz, and they keep the ball, Jeff. Boykin with a pitch out to number 3. That's Storm White, and he is stacked up by the entire Beavercreek defense. Looks like he lost a yard or 2, Jeff.
Yeah, looks like a loss of 1. I've got to go back a little bit. I'm not sure about these pass interference calls this year.
They're inconsistent, aren't they?
I know they're closer than I am. I don't know what they're seeing, but it seems to me that the defenders are there, and that play the ball was thrown short.
Yeah, underthrown ball. Didn't seem like it was contested at all, and then here we got a flag instead.
Well, 3, in fact.
Right, so 3 of them must have saw the same thing, but the pass was not contested. It just was short and clearly easily intercepted, but it's called back. There's Boykin, a handoff into the line, and number 3, Storm White, again with the carry. And he brings it close to the 50-yard line, about the 48. Brings up a third down, it looks like.
Tony, we've got two 28s on the roster. I don't know if it's Timothy Vogt or Jaden Ahmad, but he led White through the hole that time and just leveled somebody, and that's about as big a fullback as you're going to see.
Yes, that's a big guy. Do you have a height and weight on so we can figure out which is which? I'm going to guess. Well, it's hard. I'm not going to guess. It's one of the two, folks. I apologize that we don't have an exact roster. There is the handoff to Storm White, stacked up behind the line. Looks like a loss, but there's yellow flags on the field. What do we got here?
Probably a hold. It looked like somebody had a fistful of jersey.
The official's looking over the spot, and it is a hold on the Golden Panthers of Pontiz. So it's going to be declined by the Beavercreek coaching staff, and it brings up a fourth down. I don't know if I'm declining that. Are you declining that?
I'd probably take that
right.
one.
You could have. Now you still go for it here. We'll see if it backfires. That seemed like one that you would have declined, taken. But it is declined, and I guess Pontiz lines up for the punt. Like we said before, that's why the coaches get paid the big bucks, and we are up here. There's the punt that rolls and rolls and rolls, and it's going to roll dead at about the Beavercreek 25. So 6:22 to go. We have no score here yet at Frank Zink Field between Beavercreek and Pontiz. Jeff, tell us about Colette Farms.
Colette Farms Pioneer Seed is a family-owned and operated seed dealership offering Pioneer brand products, seed treatments, and trusted agronomic advice for over 45 years. With the use of local data, technology, and digital tools, we help farmers maximize every acre's potential. Count on us to be there throughout the season, working directly with you. Colette Farms Pioneer Seed, farmers just like you.
Beavercreek takes over with their second possession of the game. No score with 6:22 to go. There's a handoff who's breaking through the line is Addison Culpepper, the senior running back, crosses the 35-yard line and looks like it's good for a first down.
Good run.
Yep.
Well
good
blocked
hole.
up front.
Yeah, very good. Big hole. Hit the hole hard. Nice run by Culpepper, the senior.
Earlier this year, Beavercreek did show a lot of option. Looks like they've gone solely with the spread tonight.
Barnett in the shotgun, and we have another handoff to Culpepper. This time he stacked up. The hole closed quickly. And now we're down to a second down and about 9 to go.
Tony, these teams played last year, and Beavercreek came out on top 40-20. And it was just interesting that after they both lost in the playoffs, of course, schools have the can schedule anybody they want. So they got together again.
I love it. They should be playing. I love that. You get eliminated, don't go home. Keep playing. You learn things. There's a nice pass and catch over the middle by number 8, Alan Hopkins. Barnett to Hopkins for another Beavercreek first down. You know, Jeff, what's your thought on that? You get this new format. You get knocked out, first round losses, but you get to keep playing.
For teams like these two who haven't had much success, it's an opportunity to create a situation where you have a positive at the end of the year. And I really like the way it's worked out.
Who's ever making that call gets a pat on the back.
That's the high school football coaches
Association.
Right.
That's the right way to do it, and I like the result. Barnett back to pass. Another nice catch over here on our side by Alan Hopkins on a first down completion. It's like a running play in the air, the typical West Coast spread type of offense.
Right. And again, if you got people that can catch it and throw it, it's a wise thing to do. You try to get people out in space, and that's what happens.
Barnett in the shotgun looks over. We got a handoff here on the end around, the end coming through. That's Alan Hopkins. He was wide left. went in motion and took the handoff as he was coming through, and gains looks like about 4, maybe 3. So we're down to 3rd and 7 now on Beavercreek's second possession. No score yet here at Frank Zink Field. Beautiful Beavercreek High School, the home high school of our owner, producer, operator Rick Phillips, class of 1971.
Just a few years ago.
There goes Culpepper into the line and through for a nice first down gain inside the 40-yard line of Pontiz. 1971, let me think. I would have been 10 years, well, let's see. You graduated June of 71, so I still would have only been 9. How about that single-digit kid?
Very young you are.
Rick was there at high school graduation, and I was playing jump rope with the neighbor girls.
Hopscotch.
Right. That too. I wasn't any good at it, Rick.
Right.
There's a nice, beautiful pass and catch over the middle. Barnett to number 80. That's Stephen Jimenez. Jeff, what'd you see there?
Pontiz was in a 2-deep safety look.
Might have been J.R. Costello. It's hard to tell. We got 2 80s also. Might have been J.R. Costello. Tell us, Jeff, the play.
Two safeties. It was a play-action pass, and he hit the receiver right in the middle of the safeties.
There's a handoff into the line on that same formation, and there goes number 5. That's Travis Terrell with the touchdown run on the in-motion handoff to the motion guy, and Beavercreek jumps out 6-0.
That was a nice drive by Beavercreek.
Nice and steady, yes.
Running the pass. 3 different players handled the ball on the run, attacked him in 3 different areas, and the pass was there.
It looks like the kicker is number 34, but we don't have a 34 on our roster. Wonder who that... Well, it's a fake anyway, and the ball is incomplete. I missed if it was a fake or a botched snap, but either I was looking for the identification of who the kicker was, and it didn't immediately pop up on our rosters. But the play is unsuccessful anyhow. So Beavercreek takes the early 6-0 lead, no point after touchdowns. John Roberts Excavating is located in Wilmington. It's a family-owned business since 1998. And, of course, we'll have some 1998 comments a little later in the show, as we always do. They are specialized and experienced in general excavating, sewer, storm grading, field tile drainage, land clearing, ponds, demolition, and paving. Look us up on Facebook or call 937-382-1788. And guess what, folks, and everyone in our booth, the subject of our 1998 trivia will not be William Jefferson Clinton. So we'll give you a hint this time.
Well, I hope it's
Nor
nothing,
will it be Hillary Clinton.
I hope it's nothing political.
Nope, it won't be. But it might be.
Why don't we talk about Dave?
It might be bring some. No, I'll tell you what. This might bring some debate. Wait till we get to it. It might bring some serious debate. And maybe we'll do it at halftime. You never know. But there is another onside kick, Jeff.
Beavercreek has done that a lot. Now, the years that we covered Beavercreek a few years back, they had 2 female kickers that were extremely good at these onside kicks. Now, I don't know that there's a female on the field tonight, but they still like to do these onside kicks.
Well, they recovered the first one, and this one doesn't even look like it went the full 10 yards and was not recovered. Pontiz falls on that one. So, do you like that, Jeff?
I do. A couple weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4, we talked about that school in Arkansas who uses girl kickers, and they onside every time. They don't even make any bones about it.
Well, actually, one of the female kickers kicked the field goals and was quite good as well.
There's Carry-On Boykin under center, and he rolls out to the left, and he is run out of bounds after a short gain. Looks like the tackle made by number 30, Garrett Galuli. I'll tell you, we got some We need our spotters from East Clinton here.
As we reported on Campus Nation, the game between DeSales and Wilmington was canceled.
Wow.
It
You
was
got any
canceled.
reason?
It was canceled due to the fact that one of Wilmington's assistant coaches has COVID. And I asked Troy Deals, their athletic director, if that is considered a forfeit. He says, no, it's ruled as a no contest. But he has not returned my question if they would still remain in the playoffs. I think probably not. I think that DeSales moves on, and because it's kind of hard to schedule a playoff game unless they do it. And with COVID, I don't know how that would work as well.
Well, there's a false start for the Golden Panthers opponents.
Okay, so Troy answered, no, we're out of the playoffs.
My goodness.
And next week, Batavia will come in to play Wilmington, as I told you. So we'll have that game on Campus Nation.
All right, we'll be there, but what a shame they didn't get a chance to even play that game.
Yeah, that is
Now,
true.
they would have been underdogs.
Well, of
and it would have
course.
been, yeah, it would have had a hard time.
DeSales was the number one
But
seed.
let's play ball, folks. We want to play. Everybody wants to play. What a shame, Jeff.
Well, Cameron McAvoy, the junior who started I believe his first game of his career last week, just looked so good. I was interested to see how he'd do up at DeSales.
2nd and 13 for opponents at about the 49-yard line. There's a handoff that goes nowhere. So we're coming up on a 3rd and long for the Golden Panthers here. First quarter coming down on 3 minutes and counting at Beavercreek High School. Beavercreek out 6-0. 3rd and 15. What do you got here, Jeff, offensively?
Pontiz does not seem to be very effective, shall we say, in the passing game so far. Let's see if they put it up or try to just play field position.
Well, I think 3rd and 15 is a passing down. Let's see what the Darrell Wilson and his coaching staff have in mind. There's a shotgun to Boykin and fires it out there. It's bobbled and incomplete. Elijah Ray can't hold on. Brings up 4th and long. And I think Ponitz is going to be kicking it out again.
Troy Deals.
What's the laughter over here, Rick?
Troy says, I told him that we'll be there next week. I said that we're at Beavercreek now. He says, thanks. Make sure there's no Bill Clinton dress talk.
Yep. Tell him we've already nixed that. Tell him.
Well, the color guy almost didn't come back this week after that one.
For a minute, I thought I was on WLW. There's a mishandled snap, and it is recovered by opponents, but it's change of possession, 4th down. See, I thought that was somewhat clever.
Troy said he may have caught a little bit of heat because of that.
Yeah.
Well, I think he got confused and thought he was maybe announcing some other venue in another venue.
This stuff that high school kids talk about nowadays.
This isn't TikTok.
I guess.
What's TikTok?
So there you go, Jeff.
Thou shalt not do that again. That's what they said. There's Addison Culpepper with a 1st down run for Beavercreek as the first quarter winds down to 2 minutes and counting. 6-0 Beavercreek ahead of opponents. On a change of possession, the punt was mishandled and can't get it off. So it's a change of downs regardless, and Beavercreek takes over on the opponent's side of the field. There's Culpepper breaking free, has a 1st down close to about the 25-yard line.
How do I get the tube buddy open? Do I just open another tab?
They're getting good push up front, and again, the idea behind this offense is to try to create favorable matchups by spreading the field out so the running back has a little more room to look for the hole, and that's what happened that time.
Minute 23 left for first quarter. CampusNation.com, the YouTube channel of CampusNation.com. Barnett back to pass, fires in the end zone and wide open. Oh goodness. Spencer Grandmont wide open. It couldn't have been any more wide open, and Barrett put it right on the money, and Spencer juggles and can't come down with it.
Okay. So Troy Deal says, well, if it's any consolation, his wife thought it was funny.
Well, I always play to the female audience.
Yeah,
as
we
you
know that, Tony.
Well, you do that pretty much everywhere.
Well,
I
that's the
recall.
idea.
Well,
You can only you can only please half of them, so you might as well pick the females, right, Sydney? I hear her saying right, so I guess it's validated. There's a completion by Barnett to number 5. Looks like Travis Terrell brings up third down.
Terrell's the one with the touchdown pass, so he looks like he's one of their top receivers tonight. I'm sorry, he was the one that scored on the run.
Right. 3rd and 4 for Beavercreek as we wind down first quarter action. There's that same play in formation, Jeff, and busting through is number 8, Alan Hopkins. Describe that play for the audience, because it's a good-looking play and it always seems to be effective.
Well, you spread Hopkins a little wider. He's not the spread completely out. He's in the slot. He'll come back in motion. And I'm not sure if Beavercreek is a read option there where the quarterback looks at the defensive end or if it's just a called play. From the way they ran it, I think it was a called play to give it to him. And the line, again, did a good job up front.
There's a keeper by Barnett. Looked like he was going to hand it off to Culpepper, but took it out of his gut and kept it himself.
That was the read option there, where you put the ball into the stomach of the running back. He does not clamp down on it. The quarterback has his eyes on the defensive end. If the defensive end crashes in or if the tackle goes out, the quarterback will yank it and he'll follow through the hold.
Well, that brings us to the end of the first quarter here at Beavercreek High School, where Beavercreek Battling Beavers lead the Pontiz Golden Panthers 6-0. We got a whole lot of sponsors to talk about. Jeff, tell us about Shelley McCune Realtors.
Coldwell Banker shines like no other. Only one real estate company has guided people home for over 114 years. Call Shelley McCune with Coldwell Banker West Shell, your neighbor, your friend, your hometown realtor, bringing you exceptional service, honesty, and integrity throughout the entire home buying and selling process.
McCune Painting and Renovation, LLC, is located in Wilmington, Ohio. Your trusted contractor with over 25 years of experience offering interior and exterior custom painting and home renovations. Call Nevin today at 937-728-5585 for a free quote. McCune Realtors, McCune Painting and Renovation, LLC, two wonderful sponsors of CampusNation.com, the YouTube channel of Campus Nation. We're here at Beavercreek High School. We got second quarter action. The first snap of the second quarter is a handoff to number 5, and that's Travis Terrell or Terrell. We got to get the pronunciation. Either way, Jeff, it's a touchdown, Beavercreek.
2 for Terrell tonight.
So it's 12-0 as Beavercreek comes out for the point afters. Another touchdown run by the senior running back. Maybe someone would be nice enough to tell us, is it Terrell or Terrell? Not sure.
Didn't he play for the Cowboys?
David Terrell was a Michigan receiver that played for the Bears. There's an interesting play. Wow. How about that?
2 points.
Yeah, it counts as a 2-point conversion. How interesting. The Beavercreek people were lined up for a traditional snap, and instead the snap went to the far left. Addison Culpepper catches it and runs it in for 2. Jeff, describe that one. That was nifty. I like that.
Well, back approximately, what do we got, 44, 45 years ago, and even before that, my high school ran a play like that, but it was off of when you returned to kickoff, and what you'd do is you'd run it towards the sidelines. Everybody, the line and 3 backs would be on the sidelines, and then the center and the quarterback would go to the hash mark where the referee would then mark the ball. The defense would be confused, and before you knew it, the center, instead of hiking it to the quarterback, would snap it clear over to the sideline to one of the running backs.
I liked
and it was a little bit different than that.
Did it work?
If you had a team that hadn't scouted you, it probably worked very well. In fact, I remember 1971, if you can believe that, West Jefferson beat Urbana in a game towards the end of the year that we were two powerhouse teams. We were down 14-12 because they just scored. We ran the kickoff play and scored and won 18-14.
How about that? Let's see if they kick deep this time. Yes, they do. So no onside kick this time, and Pontiz fields the ball, and it looks like it's number 3, Storm White, bringing it outside the 25. Was it Storm? Can't tell. I don't think it was Storm. Didn't catch the number, Jeff.
I didn't either.
But it's Pontiz at their own 27-yard line, down 14-0. Beavercreek, the home team, leading, seeking their first win of the 2020 season, and they're all 14-0 on their home field. Pontiz now needs to answer on this drive, Jeff. Boykin takes a snap, and it's a handoff, and he's wrestled down. Do we have number 9, Emerson Combs is at the running back? Looks like it for Pontiz.
Emerson's not seeing too much daylight out there. He's got 2 carries for -5 yards.
Not a tall kid, that's for sure.
Tony, Pontiz just has to be a perfect example of a team that has been just devastated by the late start. You can tell they've got some talent. They're huge.
Yeah.
And the
got speed, too.
Yeah, the big kids are athletic looking, but they just don't seem like they've got any kind of flow to their offense.
There's Boykin, takes the shotgun snap, fires over the middle, incomplete. And here comes your interference flags, Jeff, and everybody's throwing them. Everybody's throwing them.
Well, the receiver wasn't anywhere near the ball.
But we're going to have another pass interference. That must be, do they talk to these officials in the off season about points of emphasis?
Yes.
They must, because in 2020, it seems like the pass interference call is the point of emphasis in Ohio high school football.
I think you must be right. I just recently, actually yesterday, in fact, read the points of emphasis for girls basketball this year.
Which are what?
Hand checking, which is about the 10th year in a row.
Not 3 seconds anymore, or traveling?
No.
Yeah.
Well, palming.
Yeah.
You know how the NBA anymore, they get away with palming and carrying, but that is going to be a point of emphasis this year. I'm glad you said that.
To get them to stop doing it or
Correct.
to overlook it?
No, they're going to exit out.
There's Boykin's pass, falls incomplete, short of his receiver, number 8. That's Lawrence Pointer over there.
Boykin is the type of a quarterback that would benefit tremendously from some individual instruction from a private tutor. He's got the tools, but you can tell when he throws, it's somewhat off his back foot. He kind of winds up like a baseball, in fact, instead of getting the ball up and having that nice quick release from over the top. Let's see if he can kind of work on that here as we get further into this drive.
It's 2nd and 10 for Pontiz on about the 40-yard line as Boykin hands it into the line, and that's going to be stacked up again. Pontiz is having trouble running the ball too, Jeff. Not much on the ground.
Their line, particularly in that set, which is a power I or 2 tight I formation, their line is very close together. There's not much in their gaps.
And you know what else is interesting about their style is it's somewhat methodical. We're not used to a whole lot of teams playing that type of pace. It's a very methodical pace. They take their time in the huddle. They go under center. It's like an old-style football. There's Boykin back to pass and fires it up in the air, and it's picked off. Devin Garnes racing back for Beavercreek, coming back across the line. Gets out of bounds at the 35-yard line. There's going to be flags on the return. Going to have some kind of an illegal block for Beavercreek, I'm sure, but Beavercreek takes over on the turnover.
Well, that's another example of it just looks like their offense has not had nearly enough time put together this year to have the timing down. Boykin that time went back in the pocket and looked to me like he just threw to a spot as opposed to reading where the receiver was. Or so often the receiver runs the wrong route and makes the quarterback look bad.
And it is a hold on the return. Ettinger Farms, family owned and operated. Ettinger Farms focuses on providing its customers with the highest quality hay and straw. The experts on their team can provide you with the perfect product for any operation and offer both delivery and unloading services. Ettinger Farms also sells both farm fresh beef and pork to fill your freezer. Find them on Facebook or visit their website at ettingerfarms.com. So the penalty pushes the ball back to the 45-yard line, and there's a handoff. Barnett to number 2 that time, Addison Culpepper. Interesting. Seems like Culpepper does all the work in between the 20s, and then our guy Terrell or Terrell, whichever it might be.
He gets the 6.
Yeah, he gets all the glory and all the fantasy football points.
Nice play defensively that time by 62 LaRon Pointer for Pontiz.
So it's 2nd and 9. Barnett back to pass, fires downfield, and it's broken up nicely by number 4, Joe Eccles. Looked like that ball was going to get in there to Hopkins for a completion, but Eccles made a nice defensive play.
That's the same play we saw in the first quarter where the pass was completed in the middle of the 2 deep safeties.
But that time broken up.
Very speedy play by the safety there. Which one was that again?
I got number 8, Lawrence
Pointer. Very nice.
Or was it 4, Joe Eccles?
I think it was Eccles.
Yeah, Joe Eccles. Number 4, Joe Eccles. There's 3rd and 9 now for Beavercreek as Barnett comes back to pass, throws a beautiful ball.
Beautiful.
And breaking free for a touchdown. A gorgeous throw and a gorgeous catch. Jack Barnett to number 8, Alan Hopkins, running all alone. Jeff, there was nobody there for Pontiz.
I think you had the 2 deep safeties again, and generally in that the cornerback has the short outside part of the field. The safety has the deep outside part of the field, and within that setup, the opening is between the cornerback and the safety down the sideline, and the safety just was not. That's his job to get over there and cover that. He wasn't anywhere near it.
Is it harder as a quarterback and a receiver to complete a ball when you're wide open and there's no defender around?
No, that should be a gimme.
The point after kick by 15, Kenny Blackmore, is no good. See, I'm thinking sometimes, and I never played quarterback or receiver except in the backyard, and I'm thinking, you're wide open with nobody there. It seems like that's a recipe for sometimes just not completing the ball.
Well, we saw it a couple times last week where inexperienced a little bit, Cameron McAvoy had people that were running free and, zipped it.
Yeah.
Which certainly is the right thing to do most of the time. But when you have a guy, your receiver open that far, you want to just kind of put a little more air under it and let him run under it. And that's what happened there. It was a really nice ball.
Tell us
Barnett.
about Brown Funeral Home, Jeff.
Brown Funeral Home is in Wilmington, and it's proud to support the student athletes of Clinton County and surrounding counties. The hard work, dedication, and passion shown by these athletes are the same principles we adhere to at our funeral home. The team of Kevin Brown and Billy Earhart are always here to assist your family in time of need. From pre-planning to at need, we offer a wide range of services that are economically friendly to all. Brown Funeral Home, celebrate lives, committed to the community.
So there's Beavercreek this time again. Kicks deep, leading 20-0 over Pontiz. There is the return by number 3, Storm White, stacked up by the Beavercreek defense, or kick defense team, kick coverage team. And it looks like Pontiz takes over on their own 32, trailing 20-0. What's Pontiz got to do to get back in the game?
Well, I think they probably need to get some more penalties called on the Beavercreek defensive secondary will help. Right now, it just looks like Beavercreek has them completely stoned up front, and the passing game has no timing to it.
Yeah, it's a shame because they're not getting anything offensively going, no rhythm. either running or throwing the ball, and it's showing because Beavercreek is out to a 20-0 lead, seeking their first win of the year. So be a nice night for these kids if they can enjoy the fruits of their 7 weeks of being on the negative side of the scoreboard, including a loss in last week's playoff game.
We talked about the band and being so large here to the left.
Look at those guys.
But the rest of the band is on the right. You see the risers over there?
My
and you see the color guard over here?
Is like everybody in the
goodness.
school in the band?
Oh, I'm sure that the school is about probably somewhere. Well, it's one of the largest high schools, public high schools in the state. So they have a lot of people to choose from.
Yes, I bet. Because they're all here in full force tonight, that's for sure. There is a run that has no chance. Number 9, Emerson Combs, is buried by the Beavercreek defense for a big loss. It brings up 3rd and 11 now for opponents. Not getting anything at all generate.
The plays are slow developing. I think
Yeah.
you mentioned that earlier, and Beavercreek is just getting through the gaps. The linebackers are hitting the gaps, reading their keys very well. Just nothing there.
3rd and 11 now for the Golden Panthers. 7:42 and counting first half.
Timeout?
Clock stops. Looks like it's a timeout call by opponents. Tell us about Kingdom Exteriors, Jeff.
It's that time of year, and the projects you've been putting off still need to be finished. Is a new roof one of those projects? One simple call could get that out of the way. Kingdom Exteriors specializes in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and decks. Winter is coming, so trust Kingdom Exteriors' 30-plus years of experience, serving the Wilmington, Lebanon, Greater Dayton, and Cincinnati areas. Call Kelly at Kingdom Exteriors at 513-696-9593.
Sam Meats, football fans, stop by Sam Meats, located in Wilmington, Ohio, at 1209 West Locust Street, to support a locally owned business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, and beef, along with deli, cheese, and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping to save you both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals and their made-to-order grill menu. Sam's Meats offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Go check out Sam's Meats.
Little offsides there.
Yeah, flags on the play coming out of the timeout.
We've not talked about it, but tomorrow night we've got playoff football. We have the Clinton Massey Falcons. They're going to be hosting Thurgood Marshall. I think they're out of the same public league as opponents here. So that will get off at 6:45 on our Campus Nation network tomorrow evening.
What do you think of that game, Jeff? Incomplete is between Massey and Thurgood Marshall.
I don't really think you want to hear what I have to say after last week.
Oh, so I have a feeling that the fourth quarter might be quick? Is that what
I
you're
think-
insinuating?
I think the third quarter may be quick.
Oh, all right, okay. All right, so nothing more needs to be said, it doesn't sound like. So it's going to be that lopsided, really? I thought Marshall had good football, no?
They have in the past, but again, this year, 4 games. I don't even think they started until maybe 2 weeks at the most before their first game.
There's the opponent's punt picked up by number 1. That's Devin Garnes. Still on his feet, crosses into opponent's territory where he spun down at about the 48-yard line by DeJuan Harris. 7:28 to go, first quarter. Beavercreek 20, opponents 0. Tell us about Collette Farms, Jeff.
Collette Farms Pioneer Seeds, a family-owned and operated seed dealership offering Pioneer brand products, seed treatments, and trusted agronomic advice for over 45 years. Collette Farms, count on us to be there throughout the season working directly with you. Collette Farms Pioneer Seed.
So it's first down, Beavercreek leading 20-0. Hand off to Culpepper, still on his feet, running across the 35-yard line inside the 30 at about the 31 for a big, quick hitting first down. That opened up like a sieve, Jeff.
Yeah, Culpepper really has a nice running style. I'm curious because according to the GWOC website, the ATN kid was the leading rusher this year. So I haven't even seen him tonight.
There's a pass out caught by number 5, Travis Terrell, we're going to say, or Terrell.
Sounds like they're saying Terrell.
Are they? Is that official?
Well, I'm hearing what I believe is the announcer say that.
Travis Terrell.
And we apologize to the parents of that young runner.
Yes, because
in the event
we just
that we
don't
are.
know.
But if anybody knows, 937-527-6674, just text me and let me know.
Text us, even though he'll...
Phonetically.
Yeah, there you go. There's a beautiful catch over the middle on the Barnett's pass, number 80. Now we got 2 of them also. So it's either J.R. Costello or Steven Jimenez. It's hard to tell which.
I'm going to guess that's Jimenez, Tony.
All right. Watch it be wrong.
Well, we do our best.
Either way, the pass is complete to number 80. We've got 2 80s on our roster. So it's either Steven Jimenez or J.R. Costello.
Well, the reason I say that is I think I saw Jimenez's name in the stats.
Maybe we'll get that cleared up too.
Call us. Let us know.
So it's...
Text us.
Text us. Call me.
What's funny is people will text in and say Terrell or Terrell, and it'll read the same, and we won't know which is which anyway.
No, we need a phonetic spelling.
I think a call would help.
We're in local.
John Roberts
Cedarville.
Excavating, located in Wilmington, is a family-owned business since 1998. Stand by for 1998 trivia a little later. They are specialized and experienced in general excavating, sewer, storm grading, field tile, drainage, land clearing, ponds, demolition, and paving. Look us up on Facebook or call 937-382-1788 for a free estimate. Beavercreek trying to get in for another score. Ball's going to be spotted about the 1-yard line. A third down play. If Pontiz wants to stay in the game at all, they got to hold here, Jeff. But this has got to be 4-down territory. You're not kicking field goals or punting at this point.
Wouldn't make any sense.
Barnett in the shotgun. Keeper and goes in for the touchdown. Good fake into the line. The opponent's defense bought the fake, went into the tackler to make the tackle on a kid that did not have the ball. So Barnett runs it in for the 1-yard score, and Beavercreek gets out 26-0.
On that play, Barnett read the right defensive end to his left. He crashed, kept the ball, ran right where the end left.
Point after kick. Looks like that one might have been good.
That's good, yeah.
Kenny Blackmore sneaks one over the crossbar to make it 27. Beavercreek 0 Pontiz. Shelley McCune, realtor, Caldwell Banker, shines like no other. Only one real estate company has guided people home for over 114 years. Teddy Roosevelt, president. Call Shelley McCune with Caldwell Banker West Shell. Your neighbor, your friend, your hometown realtor, bringing you exceptional service, honesty, and integrity throughout the entire home buying and selling process. Shelley McCune Realtors. I love their being in business for 114 years. I wonder what other businesses in this whole country have been open for 114. That's a lot.
What about your law practice?
Well, people ask me that, and I say, 31 where I'm located now, 35 total. That's 80 short of Shelley McCune.
Right.
I don't think we're going to see the Mancuso Law Office making anywhere near 114 years. It'd be a miracle of all time, but be lucky to get another 114 days.
Well, there's a fine law school up at Michigan.
Yeah. I don't think she's going to take over either anytime soon. There's a mishandled kick and picked up by Storm White, and he brings it out to about the 28-yard line. 5:02 to go. Beavercreek 27, Pontiz 0. CampusNation.com, the YouTube channel of Campus Nation 106.9 WZAA out of Jeffersonville. I'm Tony Mancuso, your play-by-play guy, state champion high school quarterback, college quarterback Jeff Merklin on the color. Rick Phillips, you hear his voice chiming in every now and then, running the show. A 1971 graduate of Beavercreek. Of course, the one and only Cowboy Joe Holdren on one of the cameras. Doing a great job here tonight for Campus Nation at Beavercreek High School. There's another handoff to White. And, Jeff, there's just nothing there, is there?
I've not seen a split backfield like that with two backs since the Bill Yeoman days down at Houston. And, of course, they ran the veer out of that. It just seems to take so long for the play to develop. There's just not much room there for the running back.
It's just a style you don't see too much in this era. We used to see it a lot when we were younger, but now it's gone by the way of the dinosaur. Really, this is the first team all year, and maybe the first team in several years that we've seen run this type of offense.
It's okay, Tony. You don't have to mention me. I'm not here.
There's a pass
nice
and
pass.
catch,
I don't think
and
they'll
I
catch
think
him.
he's gone, absolutely gone. Kenyon Boykin to Elijah Ray, who sprints in for the long touchdown pass of 70 yards, and Pontiz is on the board, 27-6. Once he got free, he was gone.
That's right. He was gone.
Weren't going to catch him.
Well, simple little slant. He was the only receiver set outside the tackle box, and
You must run track.
he cut the ball in stride. It was nice to see Boykin put that ball right in the belly,
Yes, perfect throw, perfect catch.
and the angles were just not there for Beavercreek, and he was gone.
And Elijah Ray showed a lot of speed on that catch and run. So no kick for the Golden Panthers as they go for two. Boykin under center. There's a handoff to the fullback, and he is crushed. That's a big kid, and we got two number 28s too. It's either Jaden Ahmad, I'd guess that's who it is. It could be Timothy Vaught, but we've got two number 28s. So sometimes, folks, these rosters confuse our CampusNation.com crew. But either way, the point after is stopped, and we're at 27 for Beavercreek, 6 for Pontiz. Jeff, McCune Painting and Renovation, LLC.
Tony, that business is located in Wilmington. Your trusted contractor with over 25 years of experience. McCune Painting and Renovation offers interior and exterior custom painting and home renovations. Call Nevin today at 937-728-5585. 937-728-5585 for a free quote.
Is Sydney back there?
She's back there.
Oh, no wonder. See, I didn't even know she was back there. There's a kick that is,
Out of bounds?
yeah, I think we're going to have a do-over on that. Sydney, tell us from the far back end of the press box, are the McCunes related? Yes? No?
They are.
Married.
I think they are.
Okay.
I don't know
yeah.
if they're related by marriage or whether
Yeah.
they're related, but they are related.
All right. Good guess.
Rick, you'd said something, I think, a few minutes ago about Marion Local. Did you have a score on them?
Yeah, we've got a couple scores here. Let's see what we got here.
The kick is coming back and starting over, so apparently they weren't ready for play. And we're going to have a re-kick.
Marion Local over Cedarville, 41-0. And 27-7, London over Miami Trace.
There's the kick is caught by number 42. That's Xander Wilson. Brings it close to the 40. DeJuan Harris on another tackle for opponents. He's been everywhere defensively.
He's had a nice evening. Again, and back to your question a minute ago, Tony, the opponent's offense, I don't know that the coach can really do anything other than put something very simple in.
Which it is. Suppose it's a simple offense,
And,
right?
you know, it's a unique school, too. Its actual name is Ponitz.
Technology Center.
Right. And so I think it's a unique situation. They actually have a program with Sinclair Community College where it takes 6 years. You go to Ponitz, and then 2 years in that conjunction with Sinclair, and I believe they're in the same building.
Interesting,
A
yeah.
lot of beautiful
Yep.
equipment and so forth there from their website. And you're done, and you've got an associate's degree, and you're ready to go ahead and
work.
get your
Yeah,
bachelor's.
that's
I
great.
like
Or work.
it. I like that. I do like that. Congratulations to those folks over there having such a thing set up. Barnett's pass is on the ground and incomplete, intended for Casey Barnes. I like that. That sounds great for those kids. Love it. So we're 3:24 left, first quarter. It's Beavercreek 27, Pontiz 6. So it's third and about 9 as Beavercreek lines up in the shotgun and Barnett back to pass, and it's a completed ball to Travis Terrell. Not much.
Fourth catch for Terrell.
Seems like we're going to have a punting situation here as opponents hold, so they can get back in this game with a touchdown here. It's nowhere near over, 27-6 lead. So if the Golden Panthers opponents can get a drive going, we can have a ball game at halftime.
Well, again, with the unique setting in school, I wonder just how much football training and so forth can be done there as opposed to, say, a Beavercreek or public high school.
There's the punt by Justin Hocker. It rolls and rolls and rolls, and it's going to be downed at about the 13-yard line. Edinger Farms is family-owned and operated. Edinger Farms focuses on providing its customers with the highest quality hay and straw. The experts on their team can provide you with the perfect product for any operation and offer both delivery and unloading services. Edinger Farms also sells both farm fresh beef and pork to fill your freezer. Find them on Facebook or visit their website at Edinger Farms, EDINGERFARMS.com. 2:31 to go, first half. Big drive here for opponents.
Well, I'd like to see him at least get a first down so they don't have to give the ball up before the half.
Boykin in the shotgun. There's a little swing pass out to the left. It is caught by number 9, Emerson Combs. Dances close to the 25, no, make it a 15-yard line. Short gain. There's that band, Rick. My goodness. Look how
It's
many.
huge, and you'll see just how
Look at
big
that.
this band is when it gets on the field.
My goodness gracious.
Yeah.
That looks like we're probably not allowed to say the full name of them. The best blank name in the land.
Are you talking about the Ohio State University?
We do cover them too.
Yes, we covered them.
What a fantastic looking group. Look how many there are, Jeff. There's more band members than there are football players.
Looks like they got about a quarter
Look,
$250,000 worth
seriously,
of tubas.
there is more band members than there are football players.
I
When do
would
you ever
say
see that?
It may be twice as many.
That's amazing.
Well, Beavercreek, perennially or annually or any other time, they're in the top 3 bands probably in the state of Ohio as far as public schools. They go to all kinds of competitions and have won many, many championships. So, and you can see that there's a lot of enthusiasm at Beavercreek for this band, and they have built this over the years. I don't recall the band being quite this big when I was in high school.
Brown Funeral Home in Wilmington is proud to support the student athletes of Clinton and surrounding counties. The hard work, dedication, passion shown by these athletes are the same principles we adhere to at our funeral home. The team of Kevin Brown and Billy Earhart are always here to assist your family in time of need. From pre-planning to at need, they offer a wide range of services that are economically friendly to all. Call Brown Funeral Home 937-382-2247. You can also find them online at earhart-brown.com or on Facebook at Brown Funeral Home.
Nice pass.
Brown Funeral Home, celebrating lives committed to the community. So clock's running. Well, clock is stopped on the first down, but opponent's moving the ball on this drive, Jeff.
I like Coach Wilson going to the short passes. They're much easier to execute than the long ones we saw earlier.
Boykin with a swing pass. That one is incomplete for Storm White. Led him just a little too far.
And as we talked about last week, maybe a couple weeks ago as well, that is a tough pass to throw, that little swing pass.
Kingdom Exteriors, it is that time of year, and the projects you've been putting off still need to be finished. Is a new roof one of those projects? One simple call could get that out of the way. Kingdom Exterior specializes in residential and commercial roofing, sidings, and decks. Winter is coming, so trust their 30 years of experience. Serving the Wilmington, Lebanon, Greater Dayton, and Cincinnati areas. There's a pass juggled and caught by number 6, Elijah Ray. For Kingdom Exteriors, call Kelly. 513-696-9593. Kingdom Exteriors. Another proud, fine sponsor of CampusNation.com, the YouTube channel of Campus Nation. 106.9 WZAA, the sister station. Another night of high school football here at Frank Zink Field in Beavercreek, Ohio, where Beavercreek leads Pontiz 27-6 with 1:19 to go, first half.
And as we had said earlier tonight, Wilmington at Columbus DeSales. St. Francis DeSales has been canceled. One of the Wilmington coaches apparently came up with a positive test as far as COVID. So they basically have lost their playoff possibilities.
Yeah, it's a shame.
They'll come back and play Batavia. We'll have that on Campus Nation this next Friday evening. But anyway, I guess DeSales will automatically move on. Of course, they have the number 1 seed. We would have expected that probably that's what would have happened anyway.
That's a shame you don't get to play, but hey, we'll be there next week. There's movement on the line and flags are flying everywhere. Some sort of false start for several of the Golden Panthers.
We had Joe Eccles jump on the slot receiver. There's an old saying in football that wideouts or slot receivers should never jump because they're looking at the ball, and it shouldn't happen.
But it did. So now we're backed up to third and about 7 or 8. Closer to 8. Boykin guns down the middle, and that ball is caught. Boykin to Joe Eccles. Nice pass, nice catch. Clock stops with 1:14. This is a big drive for opponents.
Beautiful drive, and again, Boykin
Yes, and they're moving the ball.
hitting these short passes over the linebackers and out in the flat. Boykin looks really good this drive.
There's a first down swing pass. It is caught by number 3, Storm White. He's in trouble, and it looks like he's going to lose yardage as the Beavercreek defense swarms on him. Takes the ball back to about midfield. Forward progress marks it at about the Beavercreek 49. Big loss there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Again, that was a flare out to the receiver or to the running back coming out of the backfield in the flat to the left. The wide receiver down here, and I didn't catch his number, is supposed to, if they can, get in front of or pin if they can. They're the person defending them, and he just couldn't quite get him sealed off.
Sam's Meats. Football fans, stop by Sam's Meats, located in Wilmington, Ohio, at 1209 West Locust Street to support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh chicken, pork, and beef, along with deli, cheese, and lunch meats. Their meats are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping to save you both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals and their made-to-order grill menu. Sam's Meats also offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts, open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Go check out Sam's Meats. 54 seconds left, 2nd and 14. Opponents on the drive. Boykin's pass is picked. Beavercreek intercepts, and they're running down the sidelines. That's number 44, Anthony Johnston, with the interception. So the opponent's drive is stopped on the interception by Anthony Johnson.
I don't know if you saw it, Tony, but Boykin just got smashed as that ball was released, and accordingly it came up about well, 5 yards short of where I'm sure he intended it. The receiver was open again behind the linebackers, but couldn't get it there with that kind of pressure.
Now, in our rotation of sponsors, I'm going to hold John Roberts Excavating until halftime because we're going to have our famous, or infamous as maybe last week was, 1998 trivia in just a moment.
Oh, can't wait.
And it's going to spark debate, I'm sure. There's a pass that's caught. Barnett to number 8, Alan Hopkins.
We're sure you worked all week figuring this one out,
This one's
Tony.
going to be controversial. Maybe not quite as controversial as last week. It's going to be a lot different type of controversy, trust me. Sydney, just hold on back there. Don't shut off the juice to our...
Get ready. Get ready on that
Don't
mute
get
button
the...
there.
Don't get your hand off the mic button and let it flow.
I just want the audience to know the color man did not have advanced knowledge.
There's a
there it
pass
is.
caught. Beautiful throw, Barnett to Travis Terrell. There's flags down, and that one may not count. Beautiful throw, Jeff. Beautiful.
Very nicely done. I think one of the linemen thought it was a called run and went downfield. I'm not sure, but that's what I thought. I saw a lineman downfield.
What a gorgeous pass by Barnett, the senior quarterbacks.
Tony, if you get us in trouble, you're going to have to do pro bono work in order to get us out of the trouble
Okay,
that you create.
I will promise this. There will be no similar controversy over this topic.
Well, let's hope not. We got 2 attorneys in the
might
booth,
be-
and
it
I
might-
might need you both.
It might be controversial, but it won't be, quote, similar controversy.
Well, my sister lives in San Jose, California, which has a little different mores than Ohio, and she was even amazed.
But the AD's wife was laughing.
Yeah,
So that's all
that matters.
Keep the wife happy. What is it? Happy wife, happy life. There you go.
That's a good one. I like that.
I pride myself in doing that.
Right. You can tell Sydney's back there smiling and giggling a lot. So
Kansas Nation's wife was not happy.
You better treat her nice. She's pretty good.
Yeah, she is pretty good.
2nd and 15. The touchdown called back on the penalty. Beavercreek trying to get in for a second or a score before the half. Barnett back to pass, fires, and coming free was number 4, Spencer Grandmont, but it's over his head.
And I'm going to attribute that to not good form by Barnett. I think he had a rush on him, and he threw it off his back foot, did not get his body and his hips rotated going forward. And
Got
the
a
ball flew.
strong arm, doesn't he?
I mean,
Yeah.
he just flipped that. It was really a strong arm.
He
and
does
strong
have
throw,
a strong arm.
but when you don't take the proper steps, the ball tends to fly on you.
24 seconds to go till halftime. Beavercreek 27, Pontiz 6. Big 3rd and 15 play for both teams. Barnett rolls to his right, throws downfield, and the ball is incomplete, short of his receiver.
Well, they're not going to kick a field goal.
Well, they're going to throw it in the end zone is what they're going to do.
Sure.
Right,
Wait
that's
a
all
minute.
you
I
can
see
do.
the kicker out there.
Okay.
I didn't
Do you
think his
this
extra
is,
points.
Do you think this is a fake?
Well, this is going to be about a 34-yard field goal attempt.
All right.
Kenny Blackmore?
Number
Well,
15, Kenny Blackmore, has been inconsistent on his point afters. The kick is down, the kick is up, and
Off
it
to the
is
right.
no good off to the right. So whatever the decision was, it doesn't work for Beavercreek as the field goal is no good. Some of our press box folks are thinking, why not go for it? But instead, the field goal attempt is tried and is incomplete. Jeff, tell us about Colette Farms.
Colette Farms Pioneer Seed is a family-owned and operated seed dealership offering Pioneer brand products, seed treatments, and trusted agronomic advice for over 45 years. With the use of local data, technology, and digital tools, we help farmers maximize every acre's potential. Count on us to be there throughout the season working directly with you. Colette Farms Pioneer Seed. Farmers just like you.
18 seconds left. What are you doing if your opponent's here?
Taking a knee.
That's what I would take.
Don't waste your energy.
Are they?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Boykin's pass is caught across the 30-yard line. It is caught by Number 6, that's Elijah Ray. So first down. The clock's running. Shouldn't the clock stop?
On the first
No.
down.
Yeah.
It
Did it run?
It
It
stopped.
ran.
It stopped till they set it. Then it starts again.
Oh, okay, it was quick. So they get the play off, and Boykin rolls and rolls and throws downfield. Incomplete, which brings an end to the first half here at Beavercreek. We're at halftime. It's Beavercreek 27, the Beavercreek Battling Beavers 27, the Pontiz Golden Panthers 6. Jeff, what'd you think of the first half?
I had hoped that it would be a little bit closer. Opponents, I think, got stronger there in the second quarter as maybe the last half of the second quarter they began playing very well. We saw the receiver Ray show some explosive speed and in that long touchdown pass. I'll be honest with you, I'm impressed by Beavercreek and am a little surprised that
No
they come
wins.
in with no wins.
Yeah.
I know opponents isn't the typical opponent they play, but I don't believe they've scored more than 12 or maybe 14 points all season, and there's not a whole lot of games where they actually got double figures, and this offense tonight is beautiful.
Looks smooth. Now, here comes the Beavercreek band that we've heard so many things about. Look at these instruments. My goodness, they've got, and I don't know what they are. They're those keyboard things that you, yeah, they're xylophone. Is that it? That you beat on with sticks, and yeah, oh my, how many of those are there? There looks like about 20 of them.
Gosh, they got a bunch of, I think those are, what, alto saxes?
They got a percussion section of drummers. What are those things? Xylophones? Is that what they are? What are they? With the keyboards that you bang with xylophones, says Sidney Phillips. Look at this band. My goodness, they are like 300 strong, it looks like. More than that.
They could do a script Beavercreek if they wanted
Amazing.
to.
Let's just see what they got for us here at halftime. But it is absolutely stunning, their band, how many members they have. They're all dressed in black. We're probably not going to be able to hear it too well behind the glass of the press box. Let's hear if we can hear any of this.
I've never seen anything
They
like
sure
this in high
look
school.
good. So many. And like Rick said, they're kind of statewide known and even nationally known for high school bands.
Well, we've talked about football players and coaches and many people associated with the sport losing so many opportunities this year because of COVID. But my guess is, if I remember, and my sister was a wonderful trumpet player for West Jefferson High School, the band competitions, I believe, are in the fall. And I hope maybe Beavercreek was able to do that. I've not heard if any band competitions were held. It would be a shame if these kids lost that kind of opportunity.
This group here is extremely impressive looking. Let's hear them. Let's see if we can hear any. Not really.
I don't think they have the instruments in yet. We've got kind of a modern dance feel to this.
It's a good looking group and they're very choreographed.
Yeah, the left side is doing the modern dance and the choreography, and the right side is doing the more traditional marching band.
Well, as we enjoy the Beavercreek band, Jeff, tell us about John Roberts Excavating.
John Roberts Excavating is located in Wilmington, and it's a family-owned business since 1998. They are specialized and experienced in general excavation, sewer, storm, grading, field tile, drainage, land clearing, ponds, demolition, and paving. Look us up on Facebook or call 937-382-1788. That's 937-382-1788 for a free estimate.
All right, that's John Roberts Excavating, been in business since 1998. That cues us into our weekly 1998 Roll Back the Clock trivia.
Get ready, Sidney.
Jeff, who won the 1998 NBA championship? As we hear silence.
Well,
He's
give us a
silent,
state, Tony.
silent, silent.
A state.
I'll tell you what.
I am going to go with San Antonio.
No, come on. Anyone else here in the booth? Any of our listeners, without looking it up on Wikipedia, which I didn't even have to do, which I never do on
I
these
thought you didn't
things.
watch the NBA, Tony.
Oh, back then I sure did, and that's going to be the subject of our debate here at halftime. The 1998 NBA champions winning their second
Chicago?
three-peat was, we heard
the Bulls.
we heard the
Gosh.
city named, the Chicago Bulls,
I just watched that show.
led by the Last
Michael
Dance,
Jordan?
the Last Dance show that was
Scottie
on
Pippen?
ESPN. Let's rattle off some of those names: Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, who's the current head coach of the Golden State Warriors. You had Dennis Rodman, Mr. Carmen Electra. No, that's not
Well, he was also.
That's
he's-
not what we're going to talk about. By the way,
Dennis Rodman is like, isn't he an ambassador to North Korea or
he
something?
was on that team, and of course they were led by the one and only Michael Jordan from the University of North Carolina, maybe the most famous athlete of all time. And now here's the debate, because we do come from another generation up here.
There's no debate, Tony.
Well, no, let's talk about it at least. It deserves a talk.
All right.
For me, there's no debate either.
No, there isn't.
However, you go around and you talk to any millennial or anybody born recently, and they're going to tell you that the best basketball player of all time is who, Jeff?
Lexi Doddridge would say.
Go ahead.
I think you're going to get LeBron.
Right.
Yeah.
People say LeBron is the greatest basketball player of all time. However,
Where's he from? Is he from China?
LeBron is from Akron.
Oh, Akron, Ohio.
Let's ask about that. Jeff, all-time basketball players. Let's solve this once and for all up here at campusnation.com. Who is the greatest ever? Was it LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or even someone else?
Okay, I can solve this
Go
very
ahead,
quickly.
Rick.
This is the way you solve it. Whose shoes sell for more money?
Well, I don't know about shoes being the only.
Well, I'm telling you right
Yeah,
now,
Mars
there's no question you cannot touch the shoe sales of Michael Jordan. So that tells me right there, he is definitely the most popular and probably of all time best basketball player.
Jeff?
I've got to go with Jordan as well. I mean, I love LeBron James. I don't really like what has happened since he's gone to the left coast. I was very surprised about his stance or lack thereof on China's violation of human rights. But I love him, and if he is second, it's just by a sliver.
Okay, before we talk about this further, I want to digress a step and tell the audience a story about LeBron James, 14 years old. I'm in my office working in the early, when would it have been, the early 2000s or late 90s, somewhere in there. I'm working away and my phone rings and it says that Jeff Merklin is on the phone and he wants to talk to you. Of course, we didn't have cell phones in those days, so he was at a payphone.
Oh, I thought that was a tin can.
He is at a payphone and he had just left the St. John Arena and saw Akron St. Vincent, and he actually called and told me that this 14-year-old kid that he just saw for Akron St. Vincent St. Mary's may end up the best basketball player of all time. Who was that, Jeff?
That was LeBron James.
Right, and I'm thinking, LeBron who? Never heard of the guy. Come on.
Well, you
Are
didn't listen to me then.
Are
You don't listen to me
Did
now.
you drink too much? You're telling me a kid you just saw as a 14-year-old is going to be the best player ever? Be serious. What are you drinking?
Well, I can only tell you, and at that time he was, I think, maybe 6'3", 6'4". He probably only weighed about 150, if that. Wet. And you know, he was a young, for his class, his birthday's at the end of March, so he had just turned 14 at the time. But there was just his movements, so much of, and I know that particularly with baseball you're very good at this, just seeing a player and whether he's got it just by the eye test, so to speak. At that point, with a 6'4", 6'3", 150-pound skinny freshman, I thought that he was the second best basketball player that I'd ever seen in the state tournament or anywhere in the state.
So who was the best in the state
At that
tournament?
point, it would have been Jimmy Jackson as a senior.
Uh-huh.
Now, by the next year, of course, that was when he began to really explode on the scene nationally. In the game, I think I took you to it, or we went together.
Yes,
it was a game at Nationwide
right.
Arena.
It's his sophomore year of high school.
Sophomore, and they played the Fork Union from Virginia, which had 10 or 11 Division I players on it. And he dropped 38, I believe.
Missed free throws at the end, surprisingly.
If he hadn't missed those, they would have won that game.
Right.
But that was the game that now I think people like Sonny Vaccaro and people like that already knew about him, but that was what put him on the map, and it's just been rockets going into outer space since
Now,
then.
he just won his 4th NBA title. Michael Jordan won 6. So LeBron's got 2 more to go and is probably going to try to chase that. But I'll tell you, folks, I'm going to make this a clean sweep up here on this debate.
Oh,
As
wow.
great as LeBron is, I might even say LeBron's not the second best.
Colby?
I'm going to throw in Kareem.
Oh,
Is the
Kareem.
second best basketball player that ever played the game of basketball. He's very underrated. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor. He won, 5 or 6 titles himself. But I'll say this. Any millennial that wants to argue, of course they do.
Now, would you say that because he did so well at Dayton?
They live for arguing, as you know. Nobody ever says yes, sir, no more in this life. But Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player that ever set foot on an NBA basketball court. All deference to LeBron and Kobe Bryant and anyone else. Magic and Larry Bird were phenomenal. They saved the sport in the 1980s with their rivalry. But the best, and we have a consensus, a clean sweep, sweeps the Electoral College, gets all the votes. That's number 23, Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time. Now, kids or folks, if you don't believe it, just go back and YouTube and just put the name Mike Jordan in there, and you will see things on a basketball court that you've not seen ever. And here's the one thing about Michael. Michael never choked. He didn't miss free throws. He didn't miss shots. He didn't dribble balls off his feet and out of bounds. Whenever the pressure was on, Michael always came through.
He also has a great pair of shoes.
Yes. So, Jeff, there's our 1998 trivia for the day. The Chicago Bulls, 6 rings, 6 NBA champions, and we have a consensus up here that LeBron, for as great as he was, is not Michael.
Now,
Nope.
we don't have the spread that we normally have here at Beavercreek as far as in the press box, but the spread is out, and it has been being eaten. I think it's shrimp.
Let's get in there.
But, yeah, you better hurry.
Jeff, tell us about Shelley McCune Realtors.
Coldwell Banker shines like no other. Only one real estate company has guided people home for over 114 years. Call Shelley McCune with Coldwell Banker West Shell. Your neighbor, your friend, your hometown realtor, bringing you exceptional service, honesty, and integrity throughout the entire home buying and selling process. And Tony, if I
Yeah,
if I
you
have
got
a
some
minute,
first half numbers for us?
Yeah, thank you. As far as opponents goes, Boykin at quarterback was 8 of 15 through the air, 124 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Catches, Ray, 3 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. Combs, 2 for 11. Eccles, 1 catch for 14 yards. Pointer, 1 catch for 14 yards. And White, 1 catch for -4 yards. 6 first downs for opponents, 2 by penalty that half. For Beavercreek, the quarterback, Barnett, 11 for 18 for 168 yards and a touchdown. Barnett was carried the ball twice for 5 yards and a touchdown. Culpepper, 11 carries for 45 yards. Hopkins, 3 carries for 16 yards. Terrell, 2 carries for 18 yards and 2 touchdowns. Through the air, or on the receiving end of the ball, Hopkins, 3 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown. Culpepper, 1 catch for 10 yards. Terrell, 4 catches, 29 yards. Martin, 1 for 4. Costello, 1 for 16. And Jimenez, 1 for 18 yards.
So here comes Pontiz kicking off, moving from our right to left. Beavercreek will receive the second half kickoff as we get underway here at Frank Zink Field. Second half action. The ball is caught at about the 23-yard line and returned. Let's see if we can catch the number who had the ball. Looks like number 34, was it, on the return? We don't know for sure. We didn't get an official spot. Let's reintroduce everybody. I'm Tony Mancuso. Jeff Merklin is on the color commentary. Rick and Sidney Phillips. Rick's voice you'll hear every now and then is a proud 1971, a whole nother millennium ago. Even Michael Jordan wasn't playing back in those days. I guess Kareem might have been about a second-year player. But 71, you'd have had Jerry West and Walt Frazier and Wes Unseld.
Dave DeBusschere, Willis Reed, all those Knicks
guys
teams were
that
great.
nobody's ever heard of in our audience, but they were great players too.
The Knicks were fantastic in the early 70s.
They weren't quite LeBron, and they definitely weren't Michael Jordan.
They played team basketball to the nth degree,
Yes,
though.
they did. They did.
Bill Bradley became a senator.
Wilt Chamberlain was toward the end of his career. He was out there for the Lakers. Elvin Hayes, a young guy in a league called the ABA named Julius Erving, was about to hit the scene. Ended up better known as Dr. J.
I like the Rick trivia tonight, Tony.
What memories. There's a pass caught by number 5, Travis Terrell, across the 50. Scoreboard with our spooky 11:11 to go. Second half action just underway. 27 Beavercreek, 6 Pontiz.
Back in those days, Tony, I used to do the morning announcements. I'd go to the principal's office every morning. I'd do the morning announcements over the PA system. They had a festival. I sat up on top of the roof of that gym over there and did a summer festival, DJ'd it.
How about that?
I DJ'd in nightclubs when I graduated from Beavercreek, then when I went to Wright State. And we had great clothes back then. Bell-bottom jeans, platform shoes.
Belts really wide.
That's right. Those long haircuts.
We'll have to kind
Like
of
the
see if they'll
Beatles?
let us in the gym if there's any
Did
photos.
you have the long waving hair, Rick?
I had some long hair.
If there's any photos
Pictures of him.
of a 1971 Rick Phillips.
Actually, I was pretty clean cut.
Barnett back to pass, a beautiful
Oh.
throw that's almost picked off by Storm White. Nice defensive play down there.
That's a two-safety look again. It seems to be Poniz's standard setup in the secondary, and that time that was a nice recovery by the safety to get over there and knock that down.
McCune Painting and Renovation LLC is located in Wilmington, Ohio, your trusted contractor with over 25 years of experience, offering interior and exterior custom painting and home renovations. Call Nevin today at 937-728-5585 for a free quote. McCune Painting and Renovation LLC. There's that middle screen that we see so often, and it's juggled and dropped by Travis Terrell. Brings up a 4th down.
Number 58 for Ponitz played that very well. I think that's Julian Lee. What you're supposed to do when you see that middle screen developing, if you're a defensive lineman, if you can see it, you're supposed to stop rushing and curl back and just stand right there where the running back is.
So they're going for it, Jeff, on 4th down. 4th and 6. Beavercreek going for it.
Rick Phillips was quite something in his younger days.
I got to
folks.
watch. Hold on. When we get a break, I want to look at it closer. There's a beautiful throw and catch. He stayed in bounds. That's number 17, Steve Tips, on the other end of the pass by Jack Barnett. What a gorgeous play that was, Jeff.
Beautiful ball that time. Again, the receiver behind the defensive back, and that Barnett laid it up very nice. Let him run under it.
When I get time for a break, we got to bring that photo back out.
That
Right.
must have been the photo that Sydney won her over.
Like an absolute.
That was on my profile.
I need
Yes.
I need to concentrate on that photo. There's a handoff and a barreling run by Culpepper inside the 10-yard line as Beavercreek is threatening to score again.
Yeah, since there's a slight difference in Sydney's and my age, I had to show her that picture, and she thought that's how old I was
Yeah.
from that picture.
I'm gonna date the guy from Melrose Place.
Wait, I gotta see. Yeah, that's who it's Sabato's who it looked like. There's a touchdown run for Beavercreek. It looks like it's number. Who do we got? Is it number 3? Barnett. But I thought we had a handoff there, but I didn't catch it because sometimes some of these angles aren't the greatest. But Beavercreek gets a touchdown to take a 33-6 lead, and Kenny Blackmore is on for the point after attempt as Beavercreek takes it down the field on the first possession of the second half. Whistles, and it's offside Pontiz. Now with this, Jeff, would you go for 2? Because offside should move it half the distance.
I don't think at 33-6 you want to do that to the other team.
I don't think so either.
So it doesn't look like that changes the Beavercreek decision. They're still lining up for the point after.
And you want to give this kicker a few more reps for the next couple weeks in case you get to a close game at the end.
Kenny Blackmore with the point after. The snap is down. The
good.
kick is good.
No.
Is it? Yes.
Yes.
No,
No,
he missed
to
it.
the
They
right.
weren't
Yeah.
sure. They were looking at each other, and they call it a miss. So with 10:06 to go here at Beavercreek High School, it's Beavercreek 33, Pontiz 6. Jeff, tell us about Ettinger Farms.
Family owned and operated, Ettinger Farms focuses on providing its customers with the highest quality hay and straw. The experts on their team can provide you with the perfect product for any operation and offer both delivery and unloading services. Ettinger Farms also sells both farm fresh beef and pork to fill your freezer. Find Ettinger Farms on Facebook or visit their website at ettingerfarms.com.
All right, let's bring back that picture of a young Rick Phillips so that I get some time to actually concentrate on it. Brown Funeral Home, Jeff, tell us about them.
Brown Funeral Home in Wilmington is proud to support the student athletes of Clinton and surrounding counties. The hard work, dedication, and passion shown by these athletes are the same principles we adhere to at our funeral home. The team of Kevin Brown and Billy Earhart are always here to assist your family in your time of need. From pre-planning to at need, we offer a wide range of services that are economically friendly to all. To contact Brown Funeral Home, call 937-382-2247 or find them on Facebook at Brown Funeral Home.
Now, what year would this photo have been approximately?
I'm not really sure, but that was probably I don't know. I would say
What year?
I'm trying to think. I was in Phoenix. This was taken when I was in Phoenix. That would have been probably. I'm trying to think. Probably about 30 years ago. So.
Well, what year? What year is
I'm,
that?
well, I'm
1990?
67, so obviously 37 years old in that picture there. And when I would go down to the restaurants and the pubs in Dayton, in the Oregon district, a lot of people would see me down there, and they would mistaken me for Martin Sheen.
I was thinking Charlie Sheen. You
Well,
look like a young Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
No,
I
so
do have
that-
a picture.
But
Yeah.
of course he was Dayton, right?
That's right.
yeah,
They grew
were.
up in Dayton. Emilio Estevez,
Yes.
Charlie Sheen, Martin Sheen. They're all from the Dayton area. But
Yeah.
I was often mistaken for
Yeah.
one
Were
of the.
you ever
one of the clan.
mistaken for Leroy Jenkins?
Not to my knowledge.
That's who I think he looks like.
No, Sheen is
Looks like Leroy Jenkins more than the Sheens.
No,
Come
he
on.
was. I thought it was.
Come on.
Charlie.
I did get a few
Few
drinks
years
out
ago.
of it.
I'll tell you something. Do you remember the name that used to call? There's Boykins back to pass, and the ball is intercepted by Beavercreek as the ball was tipped around. Number 6, Elijah Ray, couldn't hold on, and it was taken away from him. And the Beavercreek kids are fired up with an interception as they take over inside the opponent's territory with 9:13 left and already leading 33-6. Kingdom Exteriors, it's that time of year and the projects you have been putting off still need to be finished. Is a new roof one of those projects? One simple call could get that out of the way. Kingdom Exterior specializes in residential commercial roofing, siding, and decks. Winter is coming, so trust their 30 years experience serving the Wilmington, Lebanon, Greater Dayton, and Cincinnati areas. Call Kelly at Kingdom Exteriors, 513-696-9593. Kingdom Exteriors.
Addison Culpepper on that carry, Tony, about 6 yards. He's had a really nice evening.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And that is true. The Sheen family, Estevez family, are from the Dayton area, as is another famous actress who's out there in a lot of different things. Allison Janney, you know her?
Used to be on West Wing.
Yep,
Yeah.
she's a
So
Dayton.
there were two Dayton people
She's
on
a
West
Dayton
Wing.
gal. I'll give you another one, a famous family who's out there from the Dayton area. How about West Wing? Use that as a hint.
Bradley, I can't remember the...
Not quite. Ready?
Yep.
Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe, that's right, sure.
The Lowes are from Dayton. Matter of fact, the old man was a lawyer. Rob and his other, what was the other brother's name that was famous?
Was he on television well?
Yeah, not as famous as Rob. There's a handoff, number 2, Addison Culpepper. Chad Lowe, that's it.
That's right, Chad.
Yeah.
Younger.
Rob Lowe and Chad Lowe, they're from Dayton, Ohio. The Sheens and Estevezes are from Dayton. Rick Phillips is from Dayton. What do they all have in common?
Famous as all get out.
Ladies, men, what are they? Yeah. Not almost all
My
of
wife's
them.
here.
Almost all of them are. 7:40 to go, clock running. There's an inside handoff on that wide receiver around. Looks like Casey Barnes gets the first carry that we can recall him being called tonight. Takes it inside the 10-yard line. And we got a 1st and goal now for Beavercreek, leading 33-6.
Well, since we're here at Beavercreek, and my daughter, when she was in high school and junior high, played a lot of AAU basketball down here, and it sounds like the Zink floor. I do want to give a shout-out to one of their famous alums.
There's a handoff to Culpepper, barreling close to the 5-yard line as Beavercreek is trying to extend the lead. Who's that?
Michaela Roof played here and had great success. I don't remember. I think they won a state title here with her, and she went on to play at Stanford. Had a great career out there, and I believe she won a national title out there.
It's great. Great, great, great stuff. What years, Jeff?
About 8-9 years ago, I think. 2012, 13, 14, in that range. Looks like, I think she graduated in 2014.
There's an inside handoff again. Coming around the end, Casey Barnes. It looks like he's close to the end zone, but the officials mark him short of the goal line. We're going to have 3rd and less than 1. Beavercreek leading 33-6 and trying to extend their lead out further. 6:15 and counting. 3rd quarter action here at Beavercreek High School. 3rd and 1. This is 4-down territory for sure. There's a handoff to Culpepper, and he goes in for the touchdown. And Beavercreek extends their lead to 39-6 with 6 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Now, Jeff, we said this earlier. Beavercreek had come in no wins, 0-7, and here they're having their way tonight. Talk about that.
Well, one of the beautiful things, again, about the way things came down this year, and the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association gave this great thought to try to put a season together and present it to the governor for safety purposes. I love it because you don't have any 9-0 versus 1-8 teams at the end of the year. It's a league game, and you can't, you don't have any choice but to play it. Here are the teams if they've played. Now, when I was researching some schools this week, Washington Courthouse, for instance, lost in the playoffs, and they're done. So not everybody's elected to play, but the ones who have, their athletic directors, of course, have done yeoman service to the kids this year by working and working and working and getting them games, and of course handling the tickets and so forth. Those folks really earned their pay this year, and I'm sure they got nothing but a bunch of crabbing from people, but I'm going to tell you that they did a great job. And that's the beauty of it. I would actually love to see this in a
some type of format like
Do you think it's got a chance of hanging around?
It may.
I mean, think about it. If you play 6
everybody
games,
makes the playoffs if you want, and
Right.
if you're knocked out, you can play some games to close down your season.
and close down your season with competitive teams, because if you're somebody that lost 60-0 in the playoffs, you don't want to necessarily play Moeller in 2 weeks. So you can find somebody that's you're competitive with and play.
I think most of these teams. Now Beavercreek, as far as I know, they had set their schedule, and the only thing that changed that was tonight they were supposed to host the Carroll Patriots. Carroll is still in the playoffs, but Beavercreek will finish at Fairmont and then come back here with the last game against Xenia. So
I like it.
Once again, these are teams that are in the GWAC. Now, Xenia is not any longer in the GWAC, I don't think. I'd have to check that just to make sure. But anyway, but Xenia has always been a competitor to Beavercreek because of its proximity. The same thing with Carroll. Carroll has always been a competitor as well.
I like it. Maybe there's some permanent change that's coming out of some of these rules and some of these things. There's Boykin's snap is mishandled and the ball's on the ground and he falls on it. Sam's Meats, football fans, stop by Sam's Meats located in Wilmington, 1209 West Locust Street to support a locally owned and operated business. Sam's Meats has fresh pork, chicken, and beef along with deli cheese and lunch meats. Their meat deals are a great way to buy meat in bulk, helping to save you both time and money. The dining room is open for you to enjoy homemade hot bar meals and their made-to-order grill menu. Sam's Meats offers catering, party trays, and a variety of homemade desserts. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays. Go check out Sam's Meats.
Tony, about the playoffs again, while we're between plays, there's already been an expansion next year. I don't remember if it was supposed to be for this year, and it just had to get canceled because of COVID. But next year there'll be 12 teams in each region into the playoffs. So my guess is going to be that probably everybody's going to stay with that, and we won't have this format here, which is unfortunate. Sometimes a little bit of good can come out of a terrible situation. I mean, that's what humanity is all about. And I just thought the coaches did a fantastic job this year putting this together. If my math's right, 336 out of the approximately 700 schools that play football in the state of Ohio will make the playoffs next year. So this has been a nice thing to look at this year, different, and I've enjoyed it, but I don't think we're going to get it in the future.
There's Boykin. Is going to be called for an intentional grounding on that play. The ball was snapped erratically, and he picked it up in his jailbreak by the Beavercreek defense, and Boykin had nowhere to go but to sprint out and throw it away, and the officials penalized him for it. We're in that running clock situation, 3:20 and counting, with the Beavercreek 39-6 lead. Jeff, tell the listeners, if they're not familiar, about the running clock in Ohio.
Ohio high school football, like many states throughout the country, they're not all uniform in how they do it, but in Ohio, if a score in the second half reaches 30 or more points, you have a running clock that only stops on timeouts, touchdowns, change of possessions, and an injury.
39-6, so we're in that running clock situation. It's a
We've
fourth.
already had a comment come in.
Fourth-
It's not the same guy from last week's Wilmington game.
Fourth-
Who hates the running clock rule. Come on.
Fourth-
Did you find someone else?
Fourth thing, yeah, that's funny. Tell whoever that was, tell him I thought it was funny.
Oh, that's a bad
There's
kick.
a bad kick there that comes out rolling and rolling and rolling. It's down at about the 18. Now, the clock's going to stop now, right, with the change of possession? Yeah, okay.
And it'll start again once the...
Jeff, tell us about Colette Farms.
Colette Farms Pioneer Seed is a family-owned and operated seed dealership offering Pioneer brand products. Seed treatments and trusted agronomic advice for over 45 years. With the use of local data, technology, and digital tools, we help farmers maximize every acre's potential. Count on us to be there throughout the season, working directly with you. Collette Farms Pioneer Seed, farmers just like you.
John Roberts Excavating, located in Wilmington, is a family-owned business since 1998, the year the Bulls won their 6th NBA title, led by the Michael Jordan. They are specialized and experienced in general excavation, sewer, storm grading, field tile, drainage, land clearing, ponds, demolition, and paving. Look us up on Facebook or call 937-382-1788. You know, we heard this name mentioned during our halftime debate, and we didn't get to talk about it enough. I think there's an argument to be had that Kobe Bryant might have been better than LeBron.
No.
Jeff, no?
Well, I wouldn't
Zero.
say better
No.
than LeBron.
Right. Close.
Top 5
Yeah,
of all
I
time,
would-
no
oh,
question.
Yeah, I would agree.
What a horrible tragedy. Him and his daughter losing their life in that helicopter accident. How sad. Brought tears to the whole country.
Well, it struck home with me, too, because
Yes,
they
it
were
was
going.
so sad.
He was coaching his daughter's youth basketball team. There were a couple other girls that were on the team on the plane or on the helicopter. From all accounts I can see, I don't have any idea what the pilot was doing.
So sad to lose an icon like Kobe. Rest in peace. There's number 7, Justin Hawker. It looks like he's in at quarterback for Beavercreek. Now his second string quarterback getting some time, Jeff, which is a nice thing when you're in a winding down your season, winding down looks like a win.
Justin's had a few snaps this year, but he threw the ball very nicely there. Looks like he's the heir apparent. We'll see what he's got.
Less than 26 seconds of the third quarter. Beavercreek leading 39-6 over Pontiz. There's a handoff to number 13, and that is Quentin Youngblood. Is it Quentin, a freshman?
Freshman.
How about that? What a thrill for Quentin Youngblood if our rosters are correct. Now watch us say all these things and it's not him, but if it is him, Quentin Youngblood, a freshman with a running touchdown for Beavercreek. How about that thrill, Jeff? A freshman running back getting a touchdown.
I think he's going to get a few more of the next 3 years. He really burst through that hole.
Kenny Blackmore on for another extra point try, and it is good.
Now that was a blast. I have a feeling that Kenny just wasn't hitting it quite right tonight. That ball might have been good from 45 if it were a field goal.
So it's Beavercreek 46, Pontiz 6. We talked about this a little bit, and I think it's important to touch on. You know, Beavercreek went through their season 0-6 and got beat in the playoff game, and here they are in this kind of rejuvenated last quarter of the season, and they're out to a 46-6 comfortable win, and it's a nice thing for these kids, right, to get a win like this after losing all those games.
So much of high school sports has been commercialized nationwide over the past, well, I think it really started with LeBron's Akron St. Vincent St. Mary teams.
That's exactly a perfect segue to that.
And you know, I've learned a lot. Thanks again to Rick for letting me do the color on his live streams, but I've learned a lot about the live stream business in the last few weeks. People that, whether it's playing games in California and high school players being bid to the highest bidder in the AAU or sneaker industry, it's very disgusting, a lot of it. And, you know, to finish the season on an upbeat note, whether you win or not, if you've been getting destroyed and you can play a competitive game, I just like it. I think that's what it's all about for the kids.
There's Joe Eccles having trouble with the kick.
It is a fumble.
And he bobbled it a couple times, and it looks like Beavercreek recovers. The fans are loving it here at Beavercreek.
And as a program note, we want to remind everybody, tomorrow night we are at Clinton Massey High School. They will be hosting Thurgood Marshall in the playoffs. This will be their first game. They had a bye. They're the number 1 seed in their region. And this crew on Campus Nation will be back at Wilmington High School next week. Wilmington will make up that COVID-canceled second of the week game against Batavia. So we'll have Tony and Jeff there at Wilmington High School. And, of course, next Saturday we'll have, hopefully, a second game of Clinton Massey and whoever they will play. There's an interesting matchup that could play out there. Waynesville has had some pretty good football teams, and at some point they will play each other if they both win. That would be something that they're backyard neighbors, and they've always had some tough fights there.
Well, we're at the end of the third quarter here at Beavercreek, where the Beavercreek Battling Beavers lead the Pontiz Golden Panthers 46-6 as we start fourth quarter play here at Frank Zink Field. CampusNation.com, the YouTube channel of Campus Nation, 106.9 WZAA. I'm Tony Mancuso. There's a handoff to number 13, Quentin Youngblood, the freshman again. Had just scored a touchdown, and they're on their way for another one, perhaps. Color commentary, as usual, Jeff Merklin, state champion quarterback, West Jefferson. Rick and Sidney Phillips running the electricity. We hear Rick's voice a lot on this broadcast. He's a proud graduate of the Beavercreek Battling Beavers, class of 1971, the year of the Pentagon Papers. That's how long ago that was.
And you have some interesting information there about Ed Zink, don't you?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I thought it was up to date, but it's not. Ed Zink at the end of the 2019-2020 season had a record here at Beavercreek in girls basketball of 785 wins and 253 losses. Now,
not bad.
I know I don't know how many he has now, but I remember last year the news services talking about his 800th win in the I'm sorry, it would have been 18-19 and then 19-20 season.
You're right. Wow. You're doing something right, folks, when you win 800 games as a coach.
Now, as I recall, Ed was either a year or 2 years, probably 2 years ahead of me here at Beavercreek.
My goodness, what a record.
Ohio Basketball Coaches Hall of Fame 2012.
What
Paul
a record.
Walker Award last year.
That's another one of Rick's buddies, Paul Walker. No, that's not Rick's buddy. That's
Sheens?
That's
the guy from Middletown.
Yeah, Paul Walker is Donkey Rob of ATN fame's friend.
The Truckers Network.
The Truckin' Bozo?
No.
Well, it's close. Yeah, he's one of those.
Dave.
Didn't know that.
Which is Bozo, but not the Truckin' Bozo.
I'm sure he loves that.
Oh, gosh.
Might be the biking Bozo. 10:15 to go in the ball game. There's a handoff to number 13. That's Quentin Youngblood again, this time stacked up.
Wait, you're going to tell me he's friends with someone who's dead?
Coldwell Banker shines like no other. Only one real estate company's guided people home for over 114 years. Call Shelley McCune with Coldwell Banker West Shell, your neighbor, your friend, your hometown realtor, bringing you exceptional service, honesty, and integrity throughout the entire home buying and selling process. That's Shelley McCune Realtors. McCune Painting and Renovation, LLC, is located in Wilmington. Your trusted contractor with over 25 years of experience offering interior and exterior custom painting and home renovations. Call Nevin at 937-728-5585 for a free quote. McCune Realtors, McCune Painting and Renovation, LLC.
When we get a break, I'd like to talk about Mr. Zink, Ed, that is, a little bit more. It's just the numbers are incredible.
Well, you had me, like Renee Zellweger once said, you had me at 785 wins, Jeff. There's not much more you got to say from there.
Well, one interesting great stat, he's been married for 42 years to his wife.
This is
Nancy.
number 92 in the kick, and that's Nick Crawford.
Did he get it?
Nope,
No, just wide
missed
left.
it. Good kick, but just missed it. So the clock stops at 8:43 left in the ball game. It's Beavercreek 46, Pontiz 6. Jeff, tell us some more about Ed.
Well, I didn't know Ed also coached football here at Beavercreek and girls softball. At one point in his career, he won 110 consecutive league games, which just
In
boggles
what
my
sport?
mind.
Basketball?
Girls
Right.
basketball.
Girls basketball.
110.
AP Coach of the Year in 1988. UPI Coach of the Year in 1989. Ohio High School Basketball Coaches Association Coach of the Year Award 3 times, 89, 94, and 2001. Ohio Girls Basketball Magazine, which is a big thing in girls basketball, Hall of Fame in 2000, and the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame in May of 2000. That's not just high school. That's the Ohio Basketball Hall of Fame. Ed's in there with people like John Havlicek and those type of folks. Clark Kellogg,
Jerry Lucas.
Fred
Taylor, Don Donaher.
So Ed's done okay, right?
Ed's done okay, and
I think, Ed, you done all right, buddy.
I do want to finalize it by saying he has three state championships: 95, 2001, and 2003.
It's unbelievable. What a record. There's a handoff. Looks like it's number 3, White on the carry. 7:30 and counting in the ball game. Beavercreek comfortably ahead 46-6 with the running clock scenario. Opponents trying to get one last gas score if they can get it in. Beavercreek, their first win of the year. How about that?
Well, and even for Pontiz, it's another game.
Yes.
Experience and enjoying playing the sport of high school football. This is like I say, these last 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 8, 9, and 10, are just a lot of interesting matchups and teams that aren't in the playoffs.
And you know my view and most people's view, it's great to be playing. So whenever you can get out there and get real game competition, it's a good thing. For everybody concerned, the players, the coaches,
mentally,
everybody involved. The band gets to dress up and perform. The lights come on. Everybody in the PA booth gets to work. It's just a great thing. We get to come watch and call it. There's nothing better. Even if it's not playoff football, because some teams lost like these two did, it's good to just play. Better play and get out there and be involved than it is to say, oh, well, no, forget it.
Well, and the seniors from last year and obviously the students that are back this year have gone through so much just in the last 6 months with all the things that have gone on. It's nice to see some normalcy.
There's a punt by Pontiz. It is dropped, and it looks like it's going to be fallen on by number 30. We don't have a 34. We don't have 34 in our programs, but
it was number 34.
Yeah, it's the second or third time we've called him, and we just don't have a name, folks.
He went after that ball like a hungry dog after a bone.
Tell us about Ettinger Farms, Jeff.
Ettinger Farms. It's family-owned and operated, and it focuses on providing its customers with the highest quality hay and straw. The experts on their team can provide you with the perfect product for any operation and offer both delivery and unloading services. Ettinger Farms, also sells both farm fresh beef and pork to fill your freezer. Find them on Facebook or visit their website at ettingerfarms.com.
Beavercreek takes over. Maybe get out one more touchdown before the thing runs out. Brown Funeral Home in Wilmington is proud to support the student athletes of Clinton and surrounding counties. The hard work, dedication, and passion shown by these athletes are the same principles we adhere to at our funeral home. The team of Kevin Brown and Billy Earhart are always here to assist your family in time of need. From pre-planning to at need, we offer a wide range of services that are economically friendly to all. To contact Brown Funeral Home, call 937-382-2247. You can also find them online at earhart-brown.com or on Facebook at Brown Funeral Home. Brown Funeral Home, celebrating lives committed to the community.
Tony, that was Quentin Young Youngblood, the freshman again, another nice run, popping through that hole. He's got really good acceleration when he hits just the slightest gap. He really pops through there.
4:30 to go in the ball game. There's a handoff this time to, is that number 18, Casey Barnes? Who's that?
I've got that Casey Barnes, a senior.
Is it 18? Yes.
There is an 18 back there.
That's him. So clock running down to a 4-minute mark and counting here at Frank Zink Field. What'd you say earlier Frank's relationship to Ed is?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't know whether they're.
My goodness, if now you tell me something. You got Ed with those kind of numbers as the girls' basketball coach, but the field is named after Frank.
Well, there's a
Frank must have won.
Ed does have a court named after him in the gym, and Beavercreek.
What's Frank done? My goodness.
There was a Paul Martin that was a coach here that made his mark. Beavercreek was very good in wrestling, or as we called it, wrestling back then, and we won. I don't know how many. Well, until 1972, we'd been undefeated in dual meets since the league had started. Never lost a dual meet in, I don't know, decades.
Well, I'll tell you something. If you have numbers like Ed, but the football field is named after Frank, I'd be curious
Well, maybe
to
it's
see what
is
Frank's
it something
done.
like we saw down at Goshen. Jim Brown Field was actually an educator in that district in the, I guess, what, 50s and 60s?
My
Tony?
good, yes, it was. My goodness, the Zink family they've got it going on here at Beavercreek. Them and the Phillipses.
I was going to say, I
Right.
didn't even get a track named after me. Of course, maybe it was that time when they tore the cinder out.
But you own the radio station. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that's
There's
good.
a handoff to number 19. We don't have a 19 in our scorebook. What a shame, because he's carried the ball a few times too. Wonder who that is. We don't have a 19. I feel bad because we can't call him out for sure because we don't have the exact name in our book. So apologize to the family of number 19, but he's a good-looking ball player. There's a handoff, and the hole closes quick as Youngblood tried to go in for another touchdown.
One of the things I like to see, Tony, and I'm disappointed, kids come in the game and they're do such a good job. The linemen, for instance, you don't really pay attention to them. The center has put the ball back to the quarterback every time. There's been no muffed snaps, and I wanted to call him out, 75, but I don't see his name on our roster.
Well, he's played well too. There's a few of these guys who we haven't been able to identify, like number 19 who gets a touchdown. Now, this number 19 with a touchdown, let's see if we can hear it from the PA people, but we don't have him on our book.
He said Oscar.
Dave Oscar? What?
I think he said
Nick
Nick Oscar.
Oscar.
They're coming over here.
Nick Oscar. Where?
Oxner.
Oxner.
Okay, so we've been calling him out all night long,
Nick Oxner.
and it is Nick Oxner with the touchdown
Thank you.
for Beavercreek, 52-6, and he's a
Sophomore.
sophomore. He gets a touchdown for Beavercreek, which is nice. We got his name and number finally identified, Nick Oxner.
That is good.
And the kick by Kenny Blackmore is good. And it's Beavercreek 53, Pontiz 6. Jeff, tell us about Kingdom Exteriors.
Kingdom Exteriors. It's that time of year and the projects you've been putting off still need to be finished. Is it a new roof? Or is a new roof one of those projects? One simple
Sure.
call could get that out of the way. Kingdom Exteriors specializes in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and decks. Winter is coming, so trust their 30-plus years of experience, serving the Wilmington, Lebanon, Greater Dayton, and Cincinnati areas. Call Kelly at Kingdom Exteriors, 513-696-9593, That's 513-696-9593.
Minute 17 to go here at Beavercreek High School. It's 53 for Beavercreek, 6 for Pontiz. 1:17 to go in the ball game. Clock running. There's an onside kick attempt again, Jeff, so they didn't do it for a while. And at 53-6, we bring back the old Sam White with the onside kick. We brought that up a couple weeks ago.
I think he had another kicker try at that time,
Yeah.
if I saw correctly.
The reference there is Sam White in an NFL game, leading the then Houston Oilers 58-7, and the onside kicked, recovered, and kicked a field goal.
What was that year again?
89.
89. Year after the Super Bowl.
That was the most up and down team we ever had. One week they'd score 49 and blitzkrieg people, and the next week they'd lose 16-13. And then the following week they'd put up 61. It was just the most amazing team. Every week, up and down, up and down. There's a ball tipped and incomplete. My biggest memory of them was they were playing for the playoffs on Christmas night on Monday Night Football.
Minnesota?
And they played at Minnesota and lost.
That was terrible. We didn't play very well that evening.
If the Bengals won, they got in. If Minnesota won, they got in their conference.
Well, if I remember right, that team had Ickey Woods go down early in the year.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
a shame. And he was never quite the same, was he?
Nope, never was.
Did he still do the shuffle?
Yeah, he did.
With on one knee, maybe.
Yeah, he had some shuffles in 1990 and 91. There's a ball picked off to end the ball game. Beavercreek wins it 53-6 over Pontiz. The Beavercreek Battling Beavers, victorious, wins it. Jeff, what'd you think about tonight's action? Tell us a little bit.
Well, what I think about tonight's action is right there in the camera where the Beavercreek has got their first win, and don't the kids look happy?
Yes, they are. Love it. Dressed in their orange, and they're all slapping each other on the backs, and they're happy as can be with the getting in the win column for the year. Beautiful ball game tonight, a nice night. Running through our sponsors quickly: Sam Meats, Colette Farms, John Roberts Excavating, Shelley McCune Realtors, McCune Painting and Renovation LLC, Sam's Meats in Wilmington at 1209 West Locust, locally owned and operated meats. Colette Farms, a Pioneer Seed, family-owned and operated dealership offering Pioneer's brands. John Roberts Excavating, located in Wilmington, doing sewer, storm grading, field tile, and some other things. Shelley McCune Realtors, shines like no others. 114 years in the real estate business, and McCune Painting and Renovation LLC in Wilmington. Trusted contractor for over 25 years experience. We got some other ones too, Jeff, don't we?
Edinger Farms, Brown Funeral Home, and Kingdom Exteriors. I think they came on a little later in the year, and we certainly want to thank them for getting on Campus Nation and helping support the good work that this station does in the communities.
Okay, now here comes this wonderful band of Beavercreek, and I don't know how many kids are in it. It seems like 200 to 300 easy, and they're bringing out their instruments. I bet you there's 300 kids, maybe more. It's just an amazing sight, and they're getting ready to perform as the game is over with the 53-6 victory for Beavercreek. Let's talk about some final words here. Let's remind the CampusNation.com audience that tomorrow night on these same airwaves live will be the Thurgood Marshall against Clinton Massey in playoff action. So that'll be Saturday, tomorrow night, October 17th at 6:45. Thurgood Marshall versus Clinton Massey. Then next week, we're going to have two games. I'm sure we're going to have one Saturday, but our Friday night game will be Wilmington and Batavia in the makeup game from earlier in the year. Wilmington, we heard, had a playoff game kind of canceled out from underneath them with an illness of one of their assistant coaches, so they don't get to play any further. DeSales is given the victory and gets moved along in the bracket. And then on next Saturday night, assuming Clinton Massey does what they need to do tomorrow night, they'll have a playoff game next week. So remember, tomorrow night, 6:45 on campusnation.com, it'll be Thurgood Marshall versus Clinton Massey. Now, to wrap up here, for all our sponsors, Ettinger Farms, Brown Funeral Home, Kingdom Exteriors, Sam's Meats, Collette Farms, John Roberts Excavating, Shelley McCune Realtors, and McCune Painting and Renovation LLC. It's been our pleasure to bring you high school football again tonight from Beavercreek High School. I'm Tony Mancuso. Jeff Merklin was on the color. Cameraman Joe Holdren in the end zone or somewhere. Where is Cowboy Joe? He's coming up. Of course, Rick and Sidney Phillips running the electricity. Jeff, any final comments tonight from Frank Zink Field?
Beautiful night, a good ball game. The score didn't reflect it, but it sure looked like a lot of people had a lot of fun.
Well, we'll wrap it up here from campusnation.com. Remember, you can log on to the website or the YouTube channel, and you can watch this game as many times as you want, whenever you want, morning, noon, and night. It'll be on the website, campusnation.com, or the YouTube channel of Campus Nation. Again, signing out from Frank Zink Field, the final score, Beavercreek 53, Pontiz 6. We'll catch you tomorrow night and next weekend on high school football, campusnation.com.